Well, good day and welcome once again to Moments with Dr. Steve. I'm Dr. Steve and I like to do weekend review. I like to start Mondays with enthusiasm and optimism, and then I like to close on Fridays of every week. I've been doing this my whole life with how did I do? And it's more of a realism kind of a place, and that balance, isn't it? Between enthusiasm and optimism and realism. That's the buoyancy. That's the water line. That's where the keel keeps the hull, stable and buoyant and allows the ship to keep moving forward. By the way, this is Moments with Dr. Steve, and I am thrilled that you're here. And this has been um, a week of turmoil, a week of people getting shot that happen to stand for things that others don't agree with, a week of people being targeted and profiled. You talk about targeting and profiling, and a week of people giving absolution in some cases to people that murder others. I will never condone such, okay? The right to disagree, the right to speak one's mind, the right to have fervent conversation, the right to be able to create dissent, the right to be able to speak and argue for a point of view and to do so without the fear of being harmed. That is the principle of democratic speech, and I will always support that. If this week has taught me anything, and I'm nearing 70 years old, and I've been doing this work of helping and healing and intervening into people's worlds and being allowed to do so. There's the privilege. The high honor is that I've been allowed to do so and still am to this very moment. Speaks volumes about the fact that the people that are wishing others harm are multiplying. And so we, those of us that seek no harm and who seek to prepare and present ideas in the great pantheon of conversation, do so freely and without fear, because we believe the things that we believe are so, and we're willing to listen to others' point of view. But what if I've learned anything this week, I have learned that sobriety is absolutely paramount. Every bit of my life work, if you study my life work from when I started in the healing ministry practitioner business, 40 plus years ago when I was just a lad, I have been on this concourse and with this megaphone, very small megaphone, by the way, not a large megaphone, punching people in the face with the idea of sobriety. And I am never going to relent. I've never relented from that conversation. I've never stepped back. I've never shrunk. And to this very day, I trample upon the idea of stupor. I trample upon the idea of inebriation. I trample upon the idea of anything that is a drug or alcohol or gambling induced system or a chemical or substance that brings harm to people and families. I trample upon that. I will say this openly. I hate drugs and alcohol. I hate them. I've been working with families and individuals for 40 years in this world, writing a composition. If this week has taught me anything, it is that every single person has a voice. Every single person has something to say. Every single person deserves and their life demands that they determine where they are, how they got into the mess or the entanglement, and their plan to get out of jail, if you will, and to be able to create a productive and happy life. And then to compose that piece and speak that piece, brick by brick. I believe in insignificant steps. I believe in, unsubstantiated beginnings. I believe in work that has really nothing more than nudge and urge and no confirmation, but the confirmation that God is the one that has placed that in your life. And I believe that brick by brick and cumulative impact, and that you can't have all the answers at the start. And I believe that there exists inside of every single person the capacity to create goodness and to be able to serve others and to be able to have a unique voice and a unique offering. I believe that. Surrender. If this week taught me and, nailed anything down, it is surrender. All of us must, and I use that word sparingly but accurately, all of us must come to the ends of our own rope, and we must see our lives through and because of the lens of surrender to God solely, and believe that His protections and His guidance are what provide not just survival, but the ability for all of us to live as one. Exercise. This week has been a very difficult week for me in the sense that I had a surgery this week, and I have been working hard to get back to moving and walking and swinging my arms and seeing the sun warm the horizon and evaporate the fog. It's been a trying week physically for me, not just emotionally and certainly not just spiritually. Missionality. I believe, and this will be, I think, one of my pounding elements that I'll press into for all the days of my life. I believe that every single person has been given a strong and pulling and pushing quotient that I believe is their mission. And I believe it is fully dependent upon us to lean into God, locate this, and then to build that out. Trust God for all outcomes. Trust God for all outcomes. You want to know what really I think? I think we're at a precipice. Certainly, I live in America. I don't know where you live. But I think we are at a precipice where that there are several outcomes. I'm a writer of novels and tales. And there are several outcomes that are certainly within grasp right now. And so the question is going to be, which of these paths are we going to choose as primary? And that's going to make big, big choices for our children and our grandchildren. So, some life takeaways. Sobriety. Seek, find, take, stay, become sober. Do this early on in life if you're a young person. If it's late in the day for you, clutch this path now. We will help you. Small chunks. Focus not on whole pieces of big outcomes. Focus on small chunks. Each day move a single marble. I say this to myself dozens of times each and every day. Mosaic and montage. Mosaic and montage. View the work, view the effort, view the maze as a mosaic. Snap a picture. Hold it tight and begin to move in tiny, tiny ways towards creating tiny shards of glass or tiny shards of porcelain and fill in gaps in your mosaic and see if you can see a picture emerge. Encourage others. Always be an encouragement. Always be an encourager. Always be an encourager and a blessing. Believe that support, whatever that means, is right round the corner and that God has not forgotten your name and that people and resources and provinces will open up to you. If you want to talk to us, go to thoughtpros.com or DM me on this platform. We are just getting started here and I'm almost 70. But my prayer is that the last leg of this journey for me is going to be the most profound and the most impactful because I now clearly have the most to say and the most gift to offer to others. If you want to speak, send me a note. If you don't, just absorb the content and let it have its way in your life. Till next time, this is Moments with Dr. Steve. I am Dr. Steve Bonenberger. Travel far, my friend. Travel far.